You cannot ignore Vicente Luque anymore. He just submitted a guy that was undefeated in the weight class.
I'm not the kind of guy, that make boring fights. I come in here, I put my heart out, and I look to win.
Vicente, the solid assassin, Luque.
Dos Anjos, what a legacy, and he adds to it here tonight.
It's my return to welterweight. So happy I got the W.
Rafael Dos Anjos.
Welcome to UFC Unfiltered.
Please tell me that's on video. I've never been happier.
I'm made for a fucking podcast. That's dangerous. Listen to me, we're at it.
Welcome to UFC Unfiltered.
Welcome.
Matt and I are going to be joined today by the main event of, I always like when we get the actual fighters from the card on the show. Sometimes it's harder to do. We're plugging Luque versus Dos Anjos. That's this Saturday, August the 12th in Las Vegas, of course. And we have both of those guys on. We have Vicente, I think, is first, and we have Rafael after that. Is Vicente in the waiting room? Yes, he is. We should bring him right in.
He hasn't been around been on in a hot minute.
No, he is not. He dropped a couple of fights, and I'm kind of curious how he's feeling about that.
Yeah, that's your question.
Sure. How is he feeling? Like, what difference has he changed anything?
It's a tough question, Jimmy.
Why?
I don't know.
Hey, Vicente, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm good. And you?
Good to see you again. How are you feeling? I mean, you come off your first stoppage. Did it change anything in your training leading up to this fight? Or did you say, like, all right, this is something I kind of need to fix?
Yeah, definitely. It did change a lot of things. I think that, like, my vision of sparring changed a little bit. I always was a guy that sparred a lot. And now I feel like maybe when I don't have a fight, I don't need to spar that much. Ooh. And what that gave me is more time to focus on technical work, on just improving my footwork, my abilities, my head movement and all that. So, yeah, it changed. It changed quite a bit.
So I'm sorry, Jimmy, you're one of those guys that you like to just, in the past, just get your sparring in. Because that's fighting. You should just like to get a lot of rounds in, even in the UFC.
Yeah. I always like, usually I would take 2 weeks off, and then the first training I would get back to after a fight was sparring. And then I would only go to sparring because I have fun. Sparring has always been fun for me. But now I realize, like, maybe I don't need to spar that much. Like, if I put in down on a paper, I don't know. I have so many hours of sparring already. I have that experience. Now I gotta, give some more time to my technical development.
That's interesting you say that too, because a lot of guys who slow down on sparring, a lot of them do it just because of the injuries and the damage. But for you, it wasn't that. It was only time spent doing that. Could be time better spent doing something else.
Yeah. And I did feel like, so the first choice was, okay, I'm gonna focus more on technical work. So that was the main thing. But then after, a while doing that, then I realized, like, my body was much healthier. Like my shins, my hands, like I didn't have those little pains that I had gotten used to already. Like, oh, this is just what it is. We fight, we're gonna have pain. But after a while, I was like, okay, my body's healthier. And then once I'm in training camp, then I spar. But still, it's much more like a focus for the fight, much more technical than it used to be. And once I got back to sparring, I thought before, like, maybe, okay, I'm not gonna, have the timing and all that. And no, I actually was even better, I would say, because I was, healthy. My body felt good to go and spar, so I could go, and really spar healthy, like if I were going to fight. But obviously, like, with not as hard as a fight.
Now, when you recover, are you a big I know it's the latest craze. Are you a big ice plunge guy or no?
I'm not big, but I do like it. We have it at Killcliff. We have an ice plunge, so I'll try to go at least 2 times a week. But I'm not like, it's not something I like. It's not something that I'm looking forward to. And I don't hate it. Like I can get in there and I'm not like going crazy about how cold it is. I know how to let's say how to like control myself in that point. But I just maybe because it's in a way easy for me to get in, I kind of like get bored and I'm like, why am I gonna go into this cold willingly just to get some recovery? Does it really recover that much? But like once I'm training a lot, it does really make a difference. So I try to get in 2 times a week, and I do feel like the benefit on the body.
How long do you do for? I mean, you're the first guy I've heard say he gets bored in the ice bath. Everyone else dreads it and hates it, and you're like, yeah, it's cold, but fuck, it's boring. How long do you sit there for?
So it's not that the one we have at Killcliff is probably like I don't know, like 48, something like that. Is not the one of the coldest ones. I'll stay there for 10 minutes. It's just
okay.
Really, yeah.
Have you done cryotherapy? Does that help at all at recovery?
I've done it, but not so much. Like I think it's all about constant. So if you do it like every week, multiple times, I imagine it would help. But I haven't done it that much. I've done it like once in a month, and then after 2 months, I did it again. So I didn't feel it much, but I imagine if you do it all the time, yeah.
Now, fighting RDA, I mean, he's such a well-rounded individual, and what people sleep on, I think sometimes is his jiu-jitsu. I really feel they do. I think that sometimes they get caught up because he's a dynamic striker. I mean, his last win with Barberena was a sub in the second round. Obviously, I know you're a mixed martial artist. You prepare for everything. But do you feel if things are all even on the feet or close to it, do you think he's going to be going that path of trying to get you to the floor? Is that something that you're leaning towards? Because that's what I'm leaning towards. I think he'd be doing.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see Rafael as a real MMA fighter. He does everything, and he does anything that he sees that is going to be the path of his victory, and he does it with a lot of intensity. So yeah, I definitely imagine that at some point we're going to be in the cage, him maybe trying to get me down, wear me out. At some point, I imagine he might take me down, and then we're going to have to work that ground game and that grappling. And it's just a fight that is going to be really dynamic in my mind, and that's how I got ready for it, And I think that was one of the big changes in my career now, just focusing on all my weapons. I am a black belt in jiu-jitsu and lucha libre, so that also has always been one of my good tools. And now in Florida, I'm living in Florida full time. I got to train a lot with Cyborg, a lot with Wagner Rocha, which are beasts, So just getting that extra sharpness in my grappling, especially fighting a guy like Rafael Dos Anjos, who is such a beast in the ground game.
Wasn't your first UFC fight on wasn't it the night of Dos Anjos Cowboy? Isn't that the same night they fought? Was your first? I mean, I know you had fought. I think that was
my second fight. That was when I fought Haider Hassan. Yeah, in Orlando. That was my second fight in the UFC.
The first fight was the Ultimate Fighter. Okay, yeah. Right, the
Thompson and Ellenberger. Yeah.
And is it weird to be fighting a guy you've been watching for so many years since you came into the league? Have you had that yet? Have you fought anybody who you kind of obviously would have looked up to at one point?
Yeah, I fought Thompson and I fought Woodley. There were two guys that I used to watch before I was in the UFC, and Woodley, obviously a former champion. So that was really special. And Rafael, I think it's even more special because me growing in Brazil, representing Brazil, it's just a guy that I've always looked up to, especially once he got into the UFC, right away, he wasn't a superstar. He had some struggles in the beginning. He overcame that, became a great champion, then had a run, for the title at welterweight. He fought for the interim title. So for me, it's always a kind of a guy that I've looked up to. I've admired his career, and now I get to fight that guy. And I just think that's, it's not weird. For me, it's part of, fulfilling our dream. I think that in a moment we're going to start fighting with those guys that we admired, and now I'm living this moment. So it's an honor for me.
Well, I mean, listen, you're still a young guy. I'm looking here. You're 31 years old. I'm not calling RDA old, but
Right.
if I was your coach and it's between like the fourth and fifth round and it's getting hairy, I'm gonna say, Luque, it's a fucking 40-year-old. Get that old motherfucker. No, that's the route I would go. I would go that you're fighting a guy approaching 40. So, I mean, is that in the back of your mind when you're knowing if it's a fucking war? Hey, man, you should have some more in the fucking tank than this guy. He's approaching 40.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that now at this point in my career, I'm starting to see the fight like for all that you can see. And that's one of the facts, definitely he's the older guy. I'm going to have the advantage. He's also the lighter guy. He's used to be fighting 155.
Right.
I've fought all my life at 170. So I also think I'm going to be the bigger man in there. So these are things that I'm definitely going to try to take advantage of. I'm not going to say it's the key of the fight. That's it. There's more to it, but definitely it's an advantage. And yeah, I'm going to be looking to pressure him. He's a guy that has fought 5 rounds many times. So
Yeah.
I think he feels that he's used to that. But I'm a guy like I grow in the fight. Every round I get better. I fought 5 rounds once and I felt really good. Physically, I don't think it was a problem. I could have kept him fighting more rounds. So definitely I'm going to go out there and try to pressure him. And that's why I envision such an action-packed fight. The two of our styles, I mean, it's a great matchup.
And you mentioned him going up in weight. Have you fought anyone else that's come up or gone down in weight, like that, where you notice something different about them than other guys in the division?
Yeah, I fought that I remember that is a 155er, Jalen Turner. And I also the other guy that I fought in Chile, Chad Laprise. So both of them used to be 155ers. I mean, Jalen is still a 155er, but he went up to fight me. And yeah, what I did feel is that I think they were a little bit surprised with the power I have. And I ended up knocking both of them out in the first round. But Rafael is a guy that is really experienced. So I think that I wouldn't call it a first round knockout just because he knows the ways, he knows the paths, where to stay out of that danger. If I connect something, maybe, but I think it's going to be a longer of a fight. But I do believe I can finish him. I do believe I have the power. I have the skill, either submit him or knock him out.
Yeah. And what do you think his strategy against you is going to be? Like Matt said, do you think he's going to want to stand there and prove something on his feet, or do you think he's going to want to try to take you down?
Man, I think he's too experienced and too of like, he has a really good fight IQ. I don't think he's going to try to prove anything. I think he's going to try to go in there and get a big win against me, because if you look at the cards he has, is like, man, he's an older guy, but beating a guy like me can put him back into a crazy run for the title now that the welterweight division, has a new champion and everything's moving around. So I think that he's going to try to capitalize on beating me wherever he can. And what I think that is to, start off feeling it out, maybe, try out the striking, see how it goes. But eventually he will try to, wear me out, use that grappling, use that wrestling, try to put some shots, maybe hurt me, maybe cut me. And that's what I see of him, because he's got so many tools, and why not try to use them all against me and little by little break me down? And that's what I got ready for, and try to surprise him with not letting him do that.
You're right. He is too smart to try to, especially going up and fighting a guy heavier who's obviously used to fighting at 170. He is too smart to feel like he needs to do something that wouldn't be helpful to winning the fight just to prove something. He's a guy who knows that winning however he's got to win is the important thing. And when you fight a guy who's fought that many main events, that many high profile fights, is it harder to kind of say, all right, what is my strategy against this guy? Because he's seen everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think that what I've seen now is like it's hard to, we cannot really anticipate what the guy's gonna do, what the guy's gonna think, and so many things are going on. Like, we're cutting weight, and the weight cuts can go good or they can go bad. Training before a fight can go good, can go bad. So there are so many different variables on this that what I try to focus more is what I'm gonna do. Because that's really what I can control. And what I can control is, first, I studied him, and me and my coaches, Henry and all the guys at Killcliff. Also, Daniel Mendes is a guy that has been helping me a lot now. And we've done a lot of study on Rafael, and we got ready for those things that he does the most often, let's say. But with that said, now what is Luque going to do? What is Vicente going to go in there, and how is he going to dominate this former champion, this guy that has so much experience? That's what I focus on. That's what I really try to develop most, so that I can go in there confident that I'm going to dictate the space, that I'm going to go out there and I'm going to dig this win, bring this win to me, because that's what we do as fighters. I mean, I'm not going to be trying to predict what he's going to do. I'm going to go out there and earn it.
Yeah, and you were supposed to fight originally in July. Why was this moved back to August?
So all that was because of my last fight. I was originally suspended for 6 months, but then later when we got the fight in July, we found out that Vegas had extended that to a full year, so it had to be moved to August 12th. But anyway, I got cleared and everything was good,
Okay.
and I'm 100% ready to go.
Hey, Luque, let me ask you, what are you streaming? What are you watching? What are you reading? What are you doing on the day off? Give us something. Give us some of your hobbies. Let us know.
First thing I'm going to say that I'm streaming and watching my YouTube channel, because now I have a YouTube channel, and there I'm sharing a lot of that. I'm a car guy. I really like cars. I recently bought myself. I moved to Florida recently, and then fulfilled the dream of having a Mustang GT. So I have a Mustang now, and it's awesome. And that's a lot that I'm trying to share, on my YouTube channel, also my Instagram, and just share a little bit of more of what I do. I cook, I bake bread. So that's another video I put on YouTube, sourdough bread, and I love it. Yeah, I know that you're Italian. You love bread as well. Yes, yes.
Yeah, so you have in your house like a special oven, or is it just a regular oven?
No, it's just regular oven. But the thing is, the sourdough starter, so the yeast is that I made it out of scratch, and I've been keeping it and feeding it since 2019. So it's kind of like really like manual work, very, very like artistic work. It's nice. I like it. And then I can put designs on the bread, and it's those big loaves of bread, rough outside but soft on the inside with that little sourness on the. Yeah, I also do like sourdough pizza. I try to go Neapolitan style. Yeah, I'm still not at the level of making a video, but I'm getting there. When I'm good, I'll put out a video of that.
Sourdough pizza. Oh,
yeah, it's amazing.
My friend is a comedian named Tom Papa, and he's a really big guy. And like he's had the same, what do you call it? The things that you make the sourdough from, the spores. Yeah, whatever it is. It's like
Levant. Some people call it Levant. It's different names for it.
Don't they get very old? Like you can have them for years and years and years.
Yes. Yeah. So in France, Italy as well, they have some that are over 100 years. And what they say is like the more the years go by, like it's more and more special, like the taste, really, really complex. Because what it is like it's like microorganism of the environment. So the one that you have like in Italy will only taste the way it tastes in Italy. And the one you have in the US will only taste the way it tastes in the US, because it feeds from the environment as well, from the oxygen of the environment.
So what do? Do you save a little and it just grows? How do you get something 100 years old to not run out?
So every time I bake, I have to save at least 50 grams. And with these 50 grams, I feed it with flour and water, and then it makes more of it. So it feeds from that and it grows. And then it's just like the culture of you feed it again, then take a little bit to make your bread, keep a little bit in the fridge for next week.
Now, does it grow in the fridge or does it grow outside?
Outside. The fridge is kind of like to keep it alive for longer. Outside is where like you feed it and then it's doing its thing. It's kind of living and feeding and growing. When you put it in the fridge, it kind of stops all of that. So it's like if it went like to sleep. So that's why you can keep it for a whole week without feeding it. If I didn't put it in the fridge, I would have to feed it every day so it wouldn't die. Yeah.
God, that's so weird that bread is living. Like that just freaks me out. That's so bizarre. You have these spores growing. Now, what do you do? Have you ever been away for more than a week and panicked that nobody was going to be able to feed you bread?
No, I actually found out like there are different techniques to keep it for longer. So one, you can freeze it, and it will last. But then the thing is, like, you have to stay at least 3 days feeding it outside of the fridge. It needs like more food when you do that. And there's another thing that I've never tried out, but I've seen they dry it out. So they'll kind of put it on a parchment paper, take it to the sun, dry it out, and then you can freeze that. And then that you can bring it back to life. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah.
So yeah, isn't that nuts that it really is living? I just I don't like to know that. It bothers me.
No, but man, we eat you eat meat, steaks.
Yeah, I do. That's true.
Too. It is delicious. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, you're right.
Everything in reality, everything, even vegetables are living. So
yeah,
life feeds from life. There's
you're
no
right.
other way.
Yeah, I don't know why. Just the idea of growing bread, it just drives me nuts. But I mean, it tastes good. So, and it's nice to have a hobby outside of fighting, right? Like cars is an expensive hobby. That's a really expensive. Brian Johnson from AC/DC, if you've ever seen his car collection.
Yeah, I've seen
Jay Leno has a legendary airplane hanger. Yeah,
I love Leno's YouTube channel when he does that, like reviews of cars and everything. Yeah, it's really nice. It's crazy, his collection. Yeah.
Yeah, he uses a 3D printer like once in a while because Jay will go get old parts, and if there's one that he can't, like impossible to find, I think he'll make it on a 3D printer if that's the only way to do it.
Yeah, and it's nice because that's the crazy thing about technology. Now you can really keep these cars pristine and like really true to what it used to be back in the days.
What's your dream car? Like if you could have one, if you had the money and you're like, I can get whatever I want, what would you get?
It's hard for me to only have one. So
right.
The Mustang has always been a dream car as a kid. Another kid dream car is Ferrari. So there are many different ones, but the 355 is just because like it's the one that when I was a little kid, I used to look at it and I say, man, this car is amazing. So it's like that poster car for me. But one that is more like after I was older and already kind of knew more about cars, I'm really into Japanese cars. So Toyota Supra, the Mark IV. And that's a car that used to back in the days, it was like new, it was $35,000, I think. And now they are over $100,000, like the really low mileage one. So that's the real like dream car, Mark IV Toyota Supra.
Now, I'm sorry, Jimmy, being a car guy and you are a man of action, like Jimmy, like me and Jimmy, right? Jimmy, a man of action.
Man of action.
Yes, Jimmy, a man of action. Do it, Jimmy. Do it. Okay. You don't have to do it. I don't want to
hold my beverage. A man of action.
The point is, do you like the Fast and Furious movies?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I do like them, but it's kind of like a feeling. I love the first ones. The first three for me are the best. And now it's more like of the like I have for it is supporting the franchise that kind of got me into cars, that got me into that. So it's kind of like I love it just because it still brings me back to those times when like the Fast and Furious 1 and the 3, the Tokyo Drift, because I love drifting. Like I like my love for cars is not only like the physical thing. I also like to do it, so I do go drifting. I do go to racetracks, and I have put in Brazil, I built a race car. So my first car ever is a Toyota Corolla 1999. And now it's a full-on race car. So it has a cage, no seats, only 2 race bucket seats, full suspension, engine, everything. I did it all for the track. So, yeah, I do like the movies, and especially like that, I try to – now it's more about supporting that idea that the first movies came out there, of just, having the cars and how the cars connect the people, and then you get to know people that, appreciate the same things and just have a nice community and nice friendships.
Do you watch racing? I can't, would you want to go to Formula One and watch that?
Yeah, I would love it. I have in the past, I used to watch every race that when I was a kid, I used to love it. Now I don't watch it as much, but I do watch once in a while. I watch some races, and I've never been physically to Formula One race, but I would love to. I've been watching a lot of like stock cars. I've been personally there in Brazil. I've gone to stock cars. It's pretty similar to NASCAR, just the Brazilian version of it, and it's pretty fun. And I've been to other kind of races like Formula, but not one, but other Formula racing. I have fun. Yeah, I like to go all kinds of racing. Rally also. I love rally.
Very interesting guy. I mean, cars and fighting are such adrenaline drives, both dangerous. I mean, if you do race, and then making bread is just such a peaceful, quiet.
That's my meditation.
Yeah, a balance. Well, Vicente, look, great luck on Saturday. You fight. It's a great fight. You and Dos Anjos. I mean, that's an incredible main event. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this last year has been for you. And you're always so exciting when you fight. So good luck on Saturday. We hope you have a great fight.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. And yeah, Saturday, I can tell you guys, it's gonna be a fun one. Two beasts, two legends fighting in there, and I'm gonna have fun. That's what I can tell you. I'm gonna have fun, and after, I'm gonna have pizza and bread.
Oh my goodness, I'm so hungry with that. What's your YouTube channel again?
Yes.
So Vicente Luque. So my name, yeah.
Is it Luque at Luque Vicente, or is it Vicente Luque? Was I looking?
No,
at the right?
it's Vicente Luque. It might be Vicente Luque MMA, but I think it's just Vicente Luque.
Let me look this up before we go.
Yeah.
I want some of that sourdough right out of the oven where you open it up.
I know.
The steam is coming out, and I would just empty it. I gut it all out like a bad kid.
That's what my wife goes crazy about, because I tell her, like, technically, for the sourdough to be perfect, you have to wait 40 minutes for it to cool off, because it's still kind of cooking inside. But you can eat it off right away. But then you gotta eat it all. You gotta finish it, because then you finish it, and then the leftovers are not gonna get hard. If you break it right away and there is leftovers, those leftovers are gonna kind of get hard, too harsh, So if you want to keep the bread for longer, wait 40 minutes and then cut it. If you're gonna eat it all, eat it hot. It's okay. Some butter on it, and olive oil.
Dip it in the marinara sauce.
A little salt.
Yes. Ooh, that's
Is this your channel? Vicente? The first thing on the top is Fight Camp, Luque versus Dos Anjos, episode 2.
Yes.
Okay, that is the one.
This
Okay,
week,
good.
I have a whole series going on of 1 week of training camp that I recorded, and just so guys can see what it's like for me, a full week of training camp.
All right. Well, listen, it's go check out, if you look up Vicente Luque on YouTube, the channel comes up pretty quickly. So go and watch that and support Vicente's YouTube channel. It's great talking to you again, man, and we'll see you again soon. All right.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay,
Thanks,
buddy. Take
Vicente.
care.
Take care, bro.
You well.
Thank you.
Got me hungry, Jimmy.
All I'm thinking about, Tom Papa, a very funny comic. He's the host of the Netflix's comedy podcast with Fortune 5-star. I think they still host it together. And Tom is a fucking huge bread maker. Like he knows a lot about it, and he's supposedly very good. He's never made me any bread, unfortunately, but I would love to shove some into my fat face now.
I'll tell you. Dude, I think you should do every day. I'm not into those Fast and Furious movies. I can't stand.
They stink.
And then everything, and all you do is here now. Every time you do a shot, every time Vin Diesel says family, yeah. No, how does he sound? With family.
Family.
With
That
family.
good?
He always acts like a tough guy. That guy. With family. Oh, speaking of tough,
family.
He doesn't say that's not him at all.
That is him.
Do it again. Let me see. I'll close my eyes. Let me listen.
We're family.
Anyway, Jimmy, what I've been watching, what's it called again? I can't go look now. But it's the Hercules movie with The Rock. I don't know what it was, but why are you smiling?
Because
Are you smiling at your own little joke?
No, because you said I'm watching, what is that called? And it was just so many options to say. I thought of animal porn.
I was just so sick. I know. I wasn't asking. I was just asking myself.
It was very rhetorical, yeah.
It wasn't for you to answer. But the point is this: it's one of those. There's a little bit of a twist in it, but it's like it's the old-fashioned help our village type of thing. We need some warriors and Hercules. Like it's Hercules. It's the guy from Deadwood. He's good. I don't know that guy's name, but he's really good. And then some other actors. But I'll tell you, I don't know when it came out. It's a while ago. I think before The Rock really became like
yeah.
Really, but it's a fun little romp.
Did he play Hercules or no?
Yes.
Didn't Schwarzenegger play him
Hercules
too?
2014. Oh, 2014. So
I thought Arnold played him too.
No, he played
Hercules.
Yeah, but he did that in like.
No, he played Conan the Barbarian.
Yes, starring The Rock. Actor's name and the actor's name from Deadwood is
Ian McShane. Yeah,
he's good.
Yeah,
he's good in everything.
Yeah, they're all good.
Even in the new Hellboy, which had some good moments in it, but it just did not. It wasn't as good as the Del Toro's one.
Oh, it sounds awful. I mean, I don't like Hellboy.
Jimmy, I really got to take a shit in a bucket and bring it to that lab because my stomach is really not good lately, buddy.
What do you think it is? Is it you
probably afraid of colitis? So
okay. Do you have diverticulitis?
I had a little bit of that.
Are you eating like no seeds, no nuts? Are you eating properly?
What do you mean properly?
Meaning not like avoiding the stuff you have to avoid.
On a protein bar.
Those are both probably have little seeds in them.
Dude, what are you talking about?
For diverticulitis, you got to avoid little seedlings. And because a friend of mine has it, and he said that you can't eat anything that has like those little teeny things that can get caught in the pocket. Ask your doctor.
Jimmy, if you went in one of those cold plunges and I plucked you out, you look like a little skinless bird with all his feathers plucked, and I could picture you. And I put a little blanket on you, and then I'd feed you. I'd put a little, I'd go in your mouth.
No, I wouldn't care for that,
Jimmy. So anyway,
yes.
What?
So go to the doctor, Matt. You got to get looked at.
Jimmy, they looked at my ass many, many times.
And have they looked at your stomach?
Can I tell you, Longo's a little nervous? Should I say that out loud? He's getting a hip replacement.
Oh yeah, of course.
At the end of the month, and he's asking me about like, yo, man, like, God, they do anything for like the anxiety and shit? Like, he's like really like. I go, Longo, man, I wasn't nervous. I go, I think he's getting nervous about getting put to sleep.
Oh yeah.
You know, do you get nervous about that?
Every time I go in, I hope it ends like Joan Rivers. I'm like, this would be a great way out. I just go to. She died on getting surgery. She was having a
facelift or nothing, right?
Yeah, it was a facelift, and she just, she was 81. She went in, and she just never came out. So you never see it coming, right? But no, you know what, dude? I got put out when I had my I had my nasal stuff done recently, and they knocked me out. And I'm getting a colonoscopy. I don't give a fuck. I'm always fine with it. Knock me out.
Did you ever get that before? The colonoscopy?
I've gotten it before. I'm getting another one just to, again, for health reasons, just to be on top of it.
I got 3 or 4. I lose count.
Was it a doctor's office or just a friend?
I go, listen, give me a hand. Go check that out. Jimmy, it's not good. But
I've gotten to, and I don't mind tell Longo to relax. Paul Stanley from Kiss had a hip replacement, and he's still doing shows in platform heels. Ray will be fine. Whatever's wrong with his hip will be fixed.
I mean, he can't. I know. I go, Longo, come on, man. You've been having trouble riding your bicycle like the way you ride a bike around town. I got to start. When he goes on his bike rides, I got to go find him and fucking heckle him.
What is it about? Did Ray hurt his hip through sports?
I think it's the fact that he's 65.
Yeah,
he's not. I can't believe my best friend's 65. You know, my other best friend, Jimmy.
I understand.
Don't get jelly.
Oh no, I
get jelly when I say that.
I didn't care for that.
Okay, but my point is that it scares me, man. I remember one time I was with Dana and we were in Vegas and we were just talking about some shit. And he goes, the last 10 years went like that.
Yeah.
Like that. And I'm thinking about it and I'm seeing things from 10 years ago. And I'm like, wow, that did go kind of fast.
It did go fast. Yeah.
So I'm approaching 50. Soon I'll be if it goes that quick, I'll be approaching 60.
I'm 55. I think of it all the time. But it beats being. I know so many people that died young, and I'm like, they never got to be 50. They never got to be 55. So, all right.
I hope. I'm not saying I listen. I'm.
I thumbs up Matt because
I think we have RDA in the room.
We do have
former champ.
Yes.
If we didn't, and you just gave me those thumbs up to be a prick, I fucking.
No, I can't do that because then you'll never believe them.
Yes,
Jerry. Matt. How you doing, sir?
How are you?
Good about you guys.
Doing very well.
We're doing great. We're excited. We're excited for your fight. Hey,
thank you.
Congrats on your last one. Now listen, you're such a well-rounded mixed martial artist, but as a jiu-jitsu man, and listen, I got my title at my fist too, but as a jiu-jitsu man, I love watching your jiu-jitsu. I love watching it. That was great. And when they talk about, well, RDA was a champ at 150. He's fighting up 170. He's, I'm bigger. I believe your jiu-jitsu is that great equalizer when they start saying that stuff.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it, man.
How do you feel going up in weight? Is it like a little easier because you don't have to cut right before the fight for you too?
Yeah, for 170 it's a bit easier, but I still have to cut some weight. For 55 was too hard, especially once you get older. I think for myself to perform at my best, I think 170 would be, if we had 165 it would be even better, but at 170 is good.
I was always a tweener. I fought at 155, I fought at 170, but I'm 5'6". I know I'm wide, but I'm 5'6". This guy's in there. This guy's like fighting 155 that are like 6'1". It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I always thought that if they had like a 160 or a 165, that would have been so great.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like it makes sense because if we have 25, 35, 45, 55, 170. So why not 65 and going up by 10? I think that would be a good idea, but looks like we're not gonna have it anytime soon.
Exactly.
I'm surprised because you could have a whole new crop of rivalries, a new champion, a new weight division champion. I think it'll be really exciting. And I'm interested in the fact that in the Guida fight, you had your jaw broken and there's titanium, your jaw's titanium fused. Do you think guys have really hurt their hands on your jaw?
Oh yeah. Man, it was a tough moment of my career when I broke my jaw, I kept fighting, but I put some, I had 2 plates over here and 2 more over here. And yeah, I think one guy has broke his hand on my jaw once. I think Glacio T-Bow.
And how long were you, because I'm so afraid of a broken jaw because I don't like to breathe just through my nose. I'm a little claustrophobic. How long was your jaw wired shut?
Yeah, it was wired shut for 17 days, right? By the time I got to Brazil, I got a very hard throat infection, which I had to take antibiotics. And I met a doctor there, a good friend of mine. He's also a black belt. We trained with us in Brazil. And he came to my house and the surgery that he did, they shut my mouth and they put only 1 titanium piece over here. And he said, "Hey, Rafa, if you wanna keep fighting, if you're gonna go get punched again in the face, I'll redo the whole surgery." And we redone. We redo the whole thing because I don't know if the insurance want to try to save money. They put only 1 titanium plate over here, and they put bone to bone over here. But I kept feeling that thing moving the whole time, even with my mouth shut. And he said, "Hey man, let's redo it." And UFC took care of everything. And I redid the surgery 17 days later.
Oh my God. So you were in 17 days. And how long was it wired shut after that? It was like 6 weeks?
I got out of the hospital without wire in my mouth right away. My doctor in Brazil told me they have not done this type of surgery with the wire shut since the 80s.
Wow, what? I don't get that either. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why he told me. I don't know what type of surgery they did on you. We don't use the wire shut anymore.
No, I never had it, but I'm just afraid of it. Like I've seen guys that are talking like that. And I'm like, so you basically just have to take care of it, but they send you out without your jaws wired shut.
Yeah. After the surgery in Brazil, they put an extra 2 plates over here, 20 screws, and another extra plate over here. And I got out of the hospital. I ate rice on the same day.
Wow. Is it because of how your jaw was broken? I mean, that sounds like you had a pretty badly broken jaw.
Yeah, it was a pretty badly. Right here, I had the type of fracture they call, it make an island because it came down and make a Y. So I had a piece loose over here. Was pretty bad, but was nasty. I thought my career was done over there.
Oh, now, after that, and then you get these operations, how soon do you trust yourself in sparring? You're like, all right, now it's time to get hit again. After all, I'm sure going through it, you might be thinking, I could never get hit again. I got a fucking island in my mouth. When it does get healed, baby steps, are you playing in the beginning? How soon until because now you're fighting. You're fighting like it never happened. So how soon until you're able to do some sparring again after that?
Yeah, I remember it took me about 10 to 11 months to fight again. I had a fight, but it took me probably 4 months to feel like confident, for the whole, like, because it was swelling. For the swelling to come down, to feel like normal, like when you look, you could see my mouth was a swell. Like it took 4 months to the swelling go away. 4 to 5 months. And for sparring, it took me like maybe 6-7 months. And it was pretty hard, man.
That's a long time. A long time when this is your career. And you're thinking, man, every month that goes by, you're probably thinking, man, am I ever able to get back?
And the bills doesn't stop, right?
Exactly.
The bills keep coming. I had kids, and I had to fight with 10 months after, a good opportunity came up, and then I fought George Sotiropoulos on my comeback, and I knocked him out.
Nice. I know that guy too. And listen, you could put titanium, you could put fucking what's that antimonium from Wolverine's body. Some guys aren't gonna have any chin. So listen, that guy had no chin from back then. A strong wind would fucking. Isn't it amazing? Sorry, Jimmy. Isn't it amazing how some guys they can take a punch and other guys? That guy George was on my Ultimate Fighter. He was on my team. He trained like such, and he was such a to the point training. The poor son of a bitch. He had no chin. He just had
really.
So I mean, that's such a shame when everybody can have a lot of attributes, the right go attitude, but yet they're not blessed with taking a punch. You know,
that's something that you can't train.
Exactly.
Right.
And sometimes, like when someone's not blessed with power, you could develop it. Some guys are blessed with power, but when you don't have a chin, I think you got to think of a different sport.
Same thing when you don't have a heart. If you don't have a heart, that's not something trainable. Man, if you're born like that. If you have, you have. Right. If you don't, you're not gonna make it.
And I was just looking back at your record too. I didn't realize that was 2010. That Guida fight was so many years ago. You were only 2 years into your UFC career at that point. So that must have been scary because you didn't have all of those years of UFC fighting behind you. You still had a lot of your best fights in front of you.
Oh yeah, it was pretty hard. Like I said, I thought my career was over, and I thought my career was over. I was really scared, but having a family, having to provide for them, I wasn't make good money at that time. It was like, I was, making a fight. By the time I get home, pay all the bills. Okay, let's book another one. Like that. That's how I was living. And but I had to go through that and to be who I am today.
And go ahead, Jimmy.
No, Matt, you go, buddy.
I was just gonna ask, because, like I mentioned before, I really enjoy your jiu-jitsu, and I enjoy it in the octagon because even though I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, as far as competitions goes, I watch here and there, but I love it watched in combat. Like I love it watched in the cage. You know what I mean? That's the ultimate proving ground. But when you're done, when you do walk away from this crazy sport, would you think about jumping back into some grappling matches? Some guys are doing it at the same time, because I remember you did one and you kind of got screwed, because I remember I read the results and I go, oh, well, that's interesting. And you went versus Donald Cerrone, and then I watched the match. And then I'm like, oh my goodness, this is why some of these grappling competitions, if you just hear the result and you don't watch, you don't know what the hell's going on. In some of these tournaments, Jimmy, there's no points being scored. So if they go to an overtime, you have to start in a bad position. Whether
that's really bad.
It's really horrible. Bad. It's not good, because the great Hickson Gracie once said, he was asked about this, the EBI rules, and they asked him, what do you think about this? He's like, well, that's all great, but you didn't conquer that position. Like you didn't like Cowboy, when he went versus Cowboy, I watched it. Now the first 10 minutes, RDA's doing some awesome shit. I'm looking at the underhooks and the fucking, but there's no points being scored. So then afterwards you get start in an arm lock when it was one premature and then one getting caught. But I'm like, wait a minute. If I'm looking at who's the better jiu-jitsu guy, no offense to Donald, because I like his jiu-jitsu, but this is the better guy, and yet he doesn't win. So some of these tournaments are weird with the grappling, because it doesn't represent who's the best grappler. I know I went all over the place, but my point, the question was, would you go back into that arena in the grappling realm after you're done with the MMA?
Yeah, I think, Mac. I think I like to compete. I like to train, man. Even like when I don't have any fight coming up, especially jiu-jitsu with gi, I like a lot. I won a mundial back in 2003, a purple belt. So, but I had to start MMA and start as a brown belt, start fighting. So I stopped competing. But that's something that I want to do after, martial art. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has given me so much. Everything I got start with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I'm planning to open my gym too. I thought, what I'm gonna do after I'm done fighting? Am I gonna open a coffee place? I want to give it back to the community. Martial arts changed my life, and I want to change other people's life. And I'm moving to Austin, Texas. Looking for I'm in Austin, Texas now.
We're gonna see you. We're gonna see you on Joe Rogan's, I'm sure, before too long.
Definitely. And then I'm looking for locations already. I have one in mind. I want to open my school over there. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. And of course, I want to compete.
Is it going to be a jiu-jitsu school, an MMA school?
I'll do everything. I'll do everything. I'll have Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, probably judo classes too, no-gi, and Muay Thai, and of course MMA.
That's so great, man.
Yeah.
That's such a great career. If you listen, that's me. That's what I do. Besides this podcast, when I'm done fighting, this morning I did the 7 a.m. class. I had over 30 guys in there. It's just so much fun because, my wife is shocked that I get up and do the 7 a.m. class 3 days a week. I get up at like 5 o'clock. I go, look, I could come home after and I can take a nap. I'm not going to swing a hammer all day long. I'm going to show some people how to strangle people. It's such a great job. It's so great. I just feel like
and you'll see, like, when people walk into the gym, they all like, shy, and they have like problems for relationships. And once they start training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and any type of martial arts, you can see that people change. It's so good when you see that. And I've seen that so many times. And in my life, I teach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu throughout my purple belt, brown belt, and black belt. I had to stop because of, my fighting career. But what's so good, I see guys walk into the gym, they don't even look you in the eye. They like, shy. But once they start training, you have their contact, physical contact, they change everything.
It's true. I tell people all the time, it's the best form of therapy. And you could be at Planet Fitness on but, and then looking forward to pizza night or whatever. But the thing is, you're getting a workout in and you're becoming more dangerous at the same time. So it's a great thing.
I'll tell you what I've noticed in my very brief time doing jiu-jitsu. When you walk in, like I went in yesterday and I was just really in a foul mood about something with work, and you really don't think of anything else but what you are doing in the moment. Like you like, I have a guy, he's showing me how to strangle him, and he's strangling, and it's like all you're thinking of is exactly this thing that's happening. You're not thinking about work. It really is the only thing I've ever done that completely occupies your mind while you're doing it.
It's amazing, man.
Well, look, good luck on Saturday night. You've been through a lot of these main events, a lot of 5-round fights. You're a veteran and a legend, and you know everything that somebody can possibly throw at you. So good luck to you, man. We love watching you fight, and Luque's a great fighter too, and this is really he had a lot of great things to say about you, a lot of respect for you, so this will be a great fight, and we hope you have a good one.
Thank you guys. Good talk to you.
Yeah, we'll talk to you again. Thank you, sir, very much.
Take care, Chip.
Take care, man. Bye.
That's great.
Yeah, and it really is, man. You really don't think of anything except what you're doing in the moment, and then when it's done, you're like, oh yeah, I had this other thing that was annoying me, but now it's not annoying me anymore. So that's what the one benefit of it. And my hands are very sore today from gripping.
Yeah, you're gripping a lot, huh?
Well, yeah, with both hands, which is normal for me.
Hey, Jimmy.
What's up, Matt?
The countdown is on.
Ooh.
And that's because UFE. Jimmy, guess what?
What, man?
The countdown is on.
Yeah.
And that's because the UFC is selecting one lucky fan to become a UFC matchmaker for a day.
Not only, that is awesome, because not only does the winner of the matchmaker sweepstakes get to meet with Dana White and the matchmakers in Las Vegas, but the winner will also get 2 tickets to November's massive UFC 295 card at MSG in New York. 2 legends, of course, Stipe Miocic against the champ John Jones in Madison Square Garden in the main event.
If you think you have what it takes, then put your matchmaking where your mouth is.
For your chance to win, all you have to do is build your dream fight card. What a great promotion this is. Right? Your dream fight card, go to UFC.com/matchmaker. You got to do it before next Saturday's UFC 292 pay-per-view airs. That's August 19th. So do it before then. And you get a chance to win, to go see Jones and Stipe fighting at Madison Square Garden. UFC.com/matchmaker for your chance to win.
Just call me Mick Maynard. Jimmy.
Yes,
I had so much fun. I took this morning. Look at my Instagram. You can look. It's a little fast, but on my story, I one of my favorite chokes is the bread cutter. Speaking of sourdough, it's great, dude. It's from cross-eyed, 4-finger. I mean, I got into Pan Ams, and I tapped the guy, and I had the 4 fingers underneath. He was from Baja. The instructor with the ref was from Baja, and he goes, "Oh, I didn't see it. Keep going." I go, "Oh fuck." Henzo goes, "Get him again, Matt." And I had the 4 fingers in the collar still. I went right back. Dude, that kid was tap. You better be tapping. Give me 8 taps, cocksucker.
And he didn't admit that he tapped.
No, he didn't admit that he tapped. But we got him again. So Jimmy, what a good time.
Tonight, I'm going to be Fat Black Pussycat, 7 p.m. That show sells out every week if you want to come. This Saturday, I'm heading to Albuquerque for the first time in years to do the Chemo Theater, 1 show Saturday night. And then the 28th of September, I am in Toronto. And I did a great episode of Kill Tony, some funny young comics on. It went up Monday, and it's up on Kill Tony YouTube. Or go to Your Mom's House YouTube. I did something called the First Date, which was very good. I got to talk about dating a dominatrix. Very enjoyable.
Ooh, dude, you get to squeeze your balls for free, huh?
Yeah, I've had that done. Thank you, Vicente Luque. Thank you, Rafael Dos Anjos, for joining us. And if you cannot cut Matt saying UFE. That must remain.
Oh, please cut that.
UFE. And, Matt said UFE, so now you got to keep it. Yeah.
Hey, man, I want to play matchmaker. I think it's fun. Jimmy, I don't know. I have to use the restroom. I had so much fun today. And
all right, here's where we're going to match. You're Heine to a toilet. That's the match for him.
Wait, let's plug the fights this weekend.
Yes, this Saturday night. I already closed my thing. Hold on. I'm so stupid. Hold on, I'll open it up right now. Let me just get to the proper page to plug Luque. There's some good fights too. Okay, yes. Luque versus Dos Anjos is this Saturday. Of course, from Vegas. Let me see what time it starts. Prelims at 4 o'clock Eastern time, 7 p.m. main card. Nice and early. And Cub Swanson against Hakeem Dawodu is a great co-main. And Chris Daukaus against Khalil Roundtree. That's a fucking great third fight. This is a really, really good card. This Saturday starts 4 p.m., 7 p.m. main card.
Jimmy,
goodbye, buddy.
I almost can't wait till next week when we do this show all over again.
I cannot wait for these next 4 days because I know they're getting closer to Monday.
I'll probably FaceTime you before then because we have so much fun. Jimmy, enjoy your time tonight at that Fat Black Pussycat.
I will. Enjoy the toilet.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.